this year, in February, the government accepted the demands of the refining industry and basically made some changes in the policy. So we were already all happy, all ready to sign. And when we were about to sign, in came the budget. The new budget, and basically again, in the budget there was the FBR introduced a concept. What they did was that they made the petroleum products, diesel and petrol, they exempted it from the sales. And exemption from the sales tax would mean that that the sales tax that we pay at the import stage, we will not be able to adjust it from our output tax. So effectively meaning that, if it was $1.5 million, $1.5 billion project, expected sales tax, which was about 15 to 18%, will become a cost of the project, and we will not be able to. And so all the economics of the project was.
Hello everyone, I'm Fatima Attarwalla, and with me today is Mr. Zahid Mir, the MD and CEO of Pakistan Refinery Limited, a subsidiary of Pakistan State Oil. PRL has had an historic year. Its profit after tax has increased by over 100% in FY24. Mr. Mir, could you please share some light as to what led to this historic journey?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. It has been a good year for PRL. Not the best ever. In the year 22-23, the total profit of the company was 12 billion rupees. Now the profit now is about more than 4 billion rupees. Actually, what is happening in the last 4-5 years is that we have improved our operational efficiency by changing the crude recipe that we have been using. Historically, we have been using different crudes, and now we have moved to some lighter crudes. And effectively, the impact of the lighter crude is that we have increased the production of positive margin products. And when I say the positive margin products, it's basically diesel and petrol, and reduce the production of negative margin products. And the negative margin products is furnace oil. And with this operational efficiency improvement comes the profitability. So if you look at the production of positive margin products, that is diesel and petrol for PRL, you would see that the average daily production that we have produced in this concluded year has been the highest ever. So, and similarly, we have produced the highest ever petrol production for the year, and that has resulted in the profitability. And this has been the cornerstone of our strategy, the operational strategy, to move to a crude recipe to increase the positive margin products.
Given the global conflicts, the Palestine-Israel war, the uncertainty in the oil market, how does that affect your profitability and your positive margin products, such as petrol?
Well, I mean, as far as the product yield is concerned, what has happened in the last 3-4 years, if you look at the Pakistani perspective, you would see that the requirement of furnace oil in Pakistan has in fact diminished. There is almost no demand of furnace oil in Pakistan, because if you go back 3-4 years, you would see that most of the power generation was based on the furnace oil, and then with the introduction of LNG, and third coal, effectively the power generation which was on the furnace oil is no more required. So effectively, there is no requirement for the furnace oil. And currently, about 80-90% of the furnace oil which is being produced in Pakistan is now exported So that is one thing. And the other thing is that in the last again 2 years, and especially after the Ukraine war, the start of the Ukraine war, there was the crude and the product market has been very, very volatile. And in fact, when the war started, there was increase in the crude price, and not only in the increase in crude price. In fact, the crude was generally available at a higher price, but there became a shortage of products, especially diesel, in the international market, and Pakistan was really, really struggling. And at that point of time, the strategic importance of the refineries became more visible, as the requirement of diesel was much dependent on the Pakistani refineries. So things are settling down. The margins, which were skyrocketed after the Ukraine war, has sort of subsided and more or less become normal. But again, the lack of demand of furnace oil is has made the refining business very, very tight.
So what are the future plans? If there's no demand for furnace oil, what will happen to the infrastructure? I'm assuming the exports that are taking place are not very profitable.
Well, no. If you compare with the local price of furnace oil with the exported price, you would see there is a huge difference and there's a huge loss. And when we say the negative margin project, the export price of furnace oil is something like about $20 to $25 less than the crude price. So that is why it's a hugely negative margin product. And what will happen, and this is exactly why the country's refineries are required to be upgraded.
It's my understanding that SIFC has pledged a few $1 billion for the upgradation of all 5 refineries.
Yeah, well, we have been the refinery industries of Pakistan. Look, okay, let me give you sort of an overview of the refining industry. There are 5 refineries in Pakistan, and all the refineries except Parco, which is a slightly better refinery, are hydroskimming refineries. And hydroskimming is a technology, and where you would basically heat the crude, and the separation of product is because of the boiling point, just because of the heat. So you produce diesel, petrol, and a lot of furnace oil is left when you use this technology, right? So
furnace oil is a byproduct of
furnace oil. If you don't need it, and if it is cheap, then it's a bad product. Yes. Now, then there is another technology which is called the deep conversion technology, or the hydrocracking technology, where you take the furnace oil and you crack the furnace oil into the positive margin products. So you take the furnace oil and you change it into petrol and diesel, or the positive margin products. So when we call the net GRM, the gross refinery margin, the lesser negative margin product you produce, the better GRM will become, right? So Pakistani refineries are required to be upgraded to deep conversion refineries, and we need to reduce the production of furnace oil so that we can survive. If the refineries are not upgraded, effectively, refineries will not be able to survive. Now, the other reason why the refineries are to be upgraded is that, the quality of product, that is diesel and petrol, is required currently. In Pakistan, the diesel which is produced is of Euro 2 specification. And when we say Euro 2 specification, it means that the sulfur quantity in diesel is 500 ppm. Now the world has moved to higher Euro specifications. So Euro 5, for example, and Euro 5 is where the sulfur quantity is less than 10 ppm. So the requirement in Pakistan is basically, there are two requirements. One is upgrade the product, and then also, reduce the production of furnace oil. And refining industry is capital intensive. There's a lot of money that you require to upgrade. And in Pakistan, we also need to understand that Pakistan, the oil business is a regulated business. And when I say regulated business, effectively, the government of Pakistan will tell us that, look, this is the price of diesel and this is the price of petrol. So every fortnight, you would see that, there is, the government will announce, and there's a formula for that. There is a formula which is based on the international pricing and all that. There is a formula which is being followed. But the government will tell us that, this is the price. And now only one end of the industry is regulated. That is, the price is regulated, but not the input cost. So we have been talking to the government, in fact, for the last 4 years, for giving some incentives to the refineries to upgrade the refineries. Because, we are talking about, for example, Pakistan Refinery, the project we are talking about will cost us about $1.5 billion. And $1.5 billion is a lot of money. You would not see many projects in Pakistan over $1 billion.
The refinery extension and upgrade project.
This is the refinery. So not only PRL, but all the refineries will be upgraded. So the government has finally approved. Well, it finally approved last year. It last year approved a brownfield policy that they call brownfield policy. And brownfield means that, the existing refineries will be upgraded. So the government has provided certain incentives for the development, for the upgradation of these refineries.
And where would the funds come from? Billions of dollars at a current time, and securing IMF funding is a problem.
And this is what the incentives that have been provided by the policy. And the incentive is that currently, if you import diesel, for example, you will pay 10% of custom duty. And if you import petrol, 10% of custom duty is being paid on. Refineries were not allowed to retain 10% of custom duty on petrol. Now the policy says that we will be able to retain this 10%, and that this 10%, which is already a part of the consumer's price, will be retained by the refineries and will go into a escrow account. Now, once the project will achieve its final financial close, we will be able to draw money from that escrow account. And in fact, the condition is that the money will only be spent on the upgradation projects, and that the money will not can go up to 27.5% of the total project cost. So the government has given us some incentive so that we can partially fund the
project.
Yeah.
But you said this was approved last year, so has it been implemented yet?
It has not been implemented yet, and the reason is that they were, when it was approved, the incentives, there were certain concerns by the industry. For example, initially when it was approved, it was 25% of the cost. And then the FBR said that whatever you will get will be taxed. So if you're getting 25%,
So your tax that you're getting will be taxed as well, in effect.
if it is if we are getting 100 rupees as an incentive, then effectively we'll have to pay back 45 rupees.
45%.
Yeah, 45%. To so there were concerns expressed by the refinery industry, and we were also, we also had the same concerns. But PRL really wanted to move ahead with the upgradation project. So we signed the agreement. Now, what has happened is that this year in February, the government accepted the demands of the refining industry and basically made some changes in the policy. So we were already all happy, all ready to sign. And when we were about to sign, in came the budget, the new budget. And basically, again, in the budget, there was the FBR introduced a concept. What they did was that they made the petroleum products, diesel and petrol, they exempted it from the sales tax. And exemption from the sales tax would mean that that the sales tax that we pay at the import stage, we will not be able to adjust it from our output tax. So effectively meaning that, if it was $1.5 billion project, the expected sales tax, which was about 15 to 18%, will become a cost of the project, and we will not be able to. And so all the economics of the project was
it was no longer as viable.
It was no longer viable. So now we have gone back to the government, and basically we have explained to them that, look, this is what has been done. So we need to fix it. And the government understands it, and the government agrees with it, and government says that we would do it. And as you mentioned, SIFC is also on board. They have basically considered different options how to do it, and they are doing it. Hopefully, they will do it. And
have a timeline for it. If it was approved last year and never implemented and then changed entirely, so what path do you see forward, given that you are still producing furnace oil and have to export it at a much lower rate?
Yeah,
it's a negative margin product you're having lost.
See, one thing which the government should understand, and I hope they understand, that delay means money. And a year delay. Let's assume that all the refineries are upgraded, right? Once the refineries are upgraded, most of the refineries will not be producing any furnace oil. For example, PRL will not be producing any furnace oil. Parco will not be producing any furnace oil. And the rest of the refineries will also, substantial amount of furnace oil will be reduced. And effectively, PRL is going for expansion. So from 50,000 barrels to 100,000 barrels. And all the furnace oil will be changed into petrol and diesel. So the diesel and petrol quantity will be substantially increased.
And would that bring the price down?
And the impact of that increase will be a saving of about $1 billion every year to the economy of Pakistan, right? So a year delay of the project would mean a potential loss of $1 billion every year. So it is extremely important.
And when you see a potential loss of $1 billion to the common man is also suffering, because if there was an increase in supply, the price would come down. And if the petrol prices would come down, have a very positive effect on bring.
Yeah. And to be honest, we have been dealing with the government, and we have been dealing with SIFC, and they understand the issue, and they say yes, it will be done. And there are different proposals at how to do it, and we are very hopeful that it will be done maybe this month, maybe next month. But this is Pakistan. Unless it is done, it is not done.
Absolutely. A proposal could be accepted, signed, but till it's implemented, there's a loss every day amounting to thousands, if not millions of dollars per day because of the lack of upgradation. So there was this huge uproar over importing Russian oil and getting a lower price for Russian oil. Did that help the economy anyway? When we did import Russian oil, I believe PRL also processed Russian oil.
Yeah, we started. Well, I mean, initially it was a G2G engagement. I mean, so the government of Pakistan basically asked Russia to provide us some crude, and then they nominated a company, and then PRL started negotiating with them, and we had a commercial deal. So it was a commercial deal between PRL and the Russian company.
So it was initiated at a government-to-government level, but the deal was at a business-to-business.
Yeah, the big deal was business-to-business level. Now Russia, you see, this is far away from Pakistan, and it was the first time that we were considering to import crude from Russia, and there are certain challenges for this import. One was the logistical challenge, because there are certain restrictions as far as the Pakistani ports are concerned. Pakistani ports cannot accommodate bigger vessels, so there is a weight limitation. About 75,000 tons. Bigger than that vessel cannot come to Pakistan. There was a issue of payments to the Russian company, and we had to see whether it will be possible. There were certain sanctions that have been imposed by G7 countries, and it is the Russian crude is not sanctioned. We can import Russian crude. However, there are certain restrictions about that. So we wanted to test that. So that we agreed with the Russian company that it will be a test cargo, basically to check. And the crude that came to Pakistan is not a good quality crude. Good quality crude means that it was heavy crude. It would produce a lot of furnace oil, which is not.
Again, we've gone through the whole furnace oil discussion.
But I mean, it all depends. That I said about the gross refinery margin. If you can get the crude at a lower price, even the export of furnace oil can be commercially viable. So we imported 2 cargos. The bigger vessel came from Russia to Oman, and then that was the mother vessel, and then this 2 smaller vessels basically came from Oman to Pakistan. It was a good deal for PRL. It was a good deal for Pakistan. I think a substantial amount was saved in foreign exchange because of the lower price. And commercially it was a good deal for PRL, and the money that we have made basically we paid 45% tax to the government of Pakistan.
So it was a win-win all around.
For all around. Although, I mean, we were not able to continue with the one was, I mean, we wanted a better crude. We wanted a crude which would produce less, and also we wanted to make sure that we comply with all the restrictions that have been imposed internationally. So we were the commercially the deal is no more available. The same deal is no more available because of the nature of the refineries in Pakistan. As I said, the hydroskimming refinery, we are not able to get the most value from this deal. We could have taken a lot better value if we were a deep conversion refinery. And if we
if the upgrade of projects had taken place, we could have benefited from this opportunity.
absolutely.
And given that the Ukraine-Russia conflict is not stopping anytime soon, probably, so till the refineries are upgraded, this is an opportunity that we cannot monetize on.
Yes, I mean, yes, I mean, well, and also because of the price restriction, if the Russian side is willing to provide us crude at a lower price, or whatever the cap is being introduced by the G7 countries, then even now we can.
Do they have any incentive to lower the price of Pakistan?
Well, you see, I mean, they have if they are able to sell it somewhere at a better price, then they will do that. So, and because the international refineries, for example, they supply a lot of crude to India, and Indian refineries are probably one of the best refineries in the world. So they are using a lot of Russian oil, and at whatever price, but they are getting the maximum benefit out of that Russian deal. And because of our technology, and this is exactly why we need to upgrade our refineries, and sooner the better.
The $1 billion saving is because of the excess of furnace oil which we don't have a demand of. The other untapped, unmonetized potential is possibly importing Russian oil and being able to get a good deal out of that, which we also cannot do till it's upgraded. And we don't have a plan in place at the moment to upgrade it. It's talks, but we don't have a...
Well, I mean, as far as PRL is concerned, we are moving ahead with the upgradation program. Well, I mean, as I said, that we signed a agreement. That is only PRL. Now we have signed an agreement. Our incentives are being deposited in the escrow account. So we have got some money.
But given the amount of money, over $1 billion, so, and that too only 25% of the cost can be, so the amount that is being deposited in the escrow account, is it sufficient? Is it on track?
No, it is on track as per as expected, because we expected that, this is the amount that will go into the based on our production. So we know exactly, and this is as expected. Now, the other bit is the debt bit, which is a major challenge. So we are we're looking at about $1 billion, $1.2 billion of debt. Now, what we have done for that is that the contracting philosophy is, or the financing philosophy is, to go for a EPCF mode. And when I say the EPCF mode, it is engineering, procurement, and construction and financing mode. So effectively, we will be asking, or we are asking for the EPC contractors to arrange financing for us. So the last month I was in China, and I met with different banks, Chinese banks, and also the Sinosure, the Chinese insurance company. And we have got a very good feedback from them. It's a very good project. It's a very good project on paper, although it's a $1.5 billion project. But it's commercially, economically, it's a robust project. So I mean, whoever would see at the project, they will be willing to invest or provide financing for that. However, there are certain challenges as far as the Pakistani economy is concerned. There are certain concerns of the Chinese banks, whether will you be able to pay us back, because
obviously the economic environment and the track record of Pakistan, the firms.
Oh, obviously there are certain concerns about
and the profit repatriation restrictions that happened.
Yes, and and they're concerned about whether you'll be able to pay it back and whether the dollars will be available or not. And
so one thing, I'm sorry I'm cutting you off over here, a repeated problem that I see that various companies as well as donor agencies are stating is that till we get IMF funding, we cannot get funding for elsewhere. They want IMF to sign off and then they'll give it. And then IMF wants obviously the rollover before they give funding. So it's a catch-22 situation.
Yeah.
Is this something that what you experience as well?
No, I mean, I think it's nothing to do with IMF as far as this project is concerned. But the concerns, their concern, I mean, IMF will, obviously the IMF program will make the country economy stable. And if it is not there, then effectively the concern that have been raised by Sinosure and banks, that how will you be able to pay back your dollars? Because effectively, I mean, we sell products in Pakistani rupees. So what we have done with our project is, if you look at our project, you would see that apart from the normal products that we produce, that is diesel, petrol, LPG, etc., we are also producing a project is a chemical which is propylene. Propylene is a feedstock for making polypropylene. And there's a huge demand of polypropylene in Pakistan, but there is no facility in Pakistan that will convert.
Are we talking about a naphtha cracker?
Yes. So it's so for the time being, because there is no plant here for polypropylene, there's a lot of polypropylene is being imported.
And what is polypropylene used for?
It's for different plastic sector. Now, that propylene, we will have to export that. And the total value of that export will be about $175 million per annum. And that is sort of, this is what we have offered to the financier. They said, look, I mean, because we will be generating about $175 million every year through exports, so we will have enough dollars to service our debt. So I think we had good meetings with the potential EPCF companies. We have good meetings with the Sinosure. We had good meetings with the Chinese banks, and I mean, we are really very confident that we'll be able to generate those financing for the further.
But do you have a timeline for that?
Yes. Look, I mean, our stage of the project is such that we have recently, in the month of September, rolled out the EPCF tender. So the tender is gone. The tenders are expected, the date is 6th of December. So 6th of December, we'll receive the bids. Once the bids are received, the evaluation process will start, and we will have a preferred EPCF contractor in the first quarter, by the end of first quarter. So by the end of February, maybe early March, we will have the preferred contractor. Then we will start negotiating the financing terms with the banks and Sinosure. And we think that we will be able to achieve the financial close in the fourth quarter. And fourth quarter would mean that, the construction or the once we achieve the financial close, we will mobilize the EPC contractor, and then the construction period is 3 years. So end of 28 is our date for the...
So if everything goes to plan,
everything goes to plan,
at least PRL will be upgraded. Inshallah. So if $1 billion is for the entire refinery sector, how much, if PRL and PRL alone is upgraded, how much would it benefit the economy? Guess it.
Well, I mean, I would think that something like $400 million. Yeah, because, we are a big part of we will become a big part of the total refining industry, because we are the only refinery which is being expanded. So where the plan is that we will be able to increase the capacity from 50,000 barrels to 100,000 barrels. And in fact, I keep on saying this at different forums. It's not the doubling the capacity. We will increase the petrol production by about 5.5 times, and we will increase the diesel production about 3 times. So it is not, when we say doubling the capacity, is 50,000 to 100,000, effectively, because there is a lot of furnace oil that we produce that will also be changed into the positive margin products. So the contribution of PRL into the overall industry, because all the other refineries will only be upgraded. So they will reduce the furnace oil, they will improve the quality of product. But we, because are expanding, therefore the value of $1 billion, is pretty much, we are 1/3 of the value of that city.
So by 2028, if PRL expands, we get lower sulfur content in our petrol, which means all of us lead healthier lives.
Hopefully. Yeah.
We save money because negative margin products of furnace oil would decrease. Increase in petrol and diesel availability, so lower prices for petrol, hopefully, for the masses. Lower diesel prices means better agriculture, more tractors because it's more tube wells because it's more cost effective for them. And because it's easy availability of petrol higher at a lower rate, perhaps the smuggling of oil could go down as well.
Well, that is a question. That is...
But it could have a whole range. And of course, there's the possibility of expanding from GCC countries as the main oil markets and importing Russian oil, which would also be a better deal. So,
absolutely.
So if the refinery sector in PRL upgrades by 2028 as planned, it could mean really good things for the economy.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the only thing, you are right about everything, but only about the refinery upgradation will not have any impact on the smuggling. Now, smuggling has to be controlled by somebody, by the government, and that is one major concern that we have, and that is one major spanner that can derail the upgradation of the refineries, because if there is smuggling, then effectively that will happen is that if the production of refineries are improving, and if they are not able to sell, then effectively all the refineries will think that whether we should go there, we should
upgrading, and then there's a whole demand thing.
And that is the problem. Even now, there is a problem.
Well, I really hope that problem gets solved and it doesn't derail the plan that could save potentially $1 billion to the economy annually. Thank you so much for giving us this time, Mr. Mir. It was a truly pleasure having you at All Things Fine.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.